So 5 years vegan. The truth? I feel weak. I feel kind of tired all the time. I think I'm lacking in protein. Just kidding. Dun-dun-dun, chick. Hi friends, it's Sam, and guess what? It is my 5-year veganiversary. That's right, I have been vegan for 5 whole, exciting, amazing, life-changing years. And I'm gonna tell you what's happened to my body, what's happened to my mind, how it has changed my life, so that if you're wondering what it's like to be vegan for 5 years, you can know my opinion, you can know my experiences. Obviously it's going to be different for everyone, I can only speak for myself, so that's what I'm here to tell you about today. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, check out my blog for lots of amazing delicious vegan recipes, and of course my brand shiny new cookbook, Fuss Free Vegan, which after only 1 month of the on sale date has already been ordered for a reprint. So right now what's out is the first edition print, so get your hands on that. So before I was vegan, it's interesting to think about 5 years ago today, I was a completely different person. I was in a job that I hated, I was in a relationship that was no good, I wasn't nearly as confident or happy as I am today, and so a lot of things have changed in my life aside from veganism, but I think veganism really sparked something for me. So if you don't know, I went vegan overnight. I watched a documentary called Vegucated, which is basically just about a couple of people who are dared to go vegan for a month, and they see what happens. And that for me, I woke up and I was like, I have to eat vegan today, and that next night I watched Forks Over Knives, and yeah, basically it was just a tumbling block of documentaries and books and everything I could get my hands on, and I knew that I had to be vegan. But I didn't actually want to be vegan at first because it seemed really hard and challenging, and so that was something that I had to overcome. But after about like a month, maybe 2 months, it was so easy peasy. I didn't even have to think about it anymore. I loved it so much, and yeah, it totally changed my life. First things I noticed when I went vegan, I'm trying to think back to 5 years ago now, so it's a long time, but energy. Energy was huge. Oh, hi, Chickpea Dog. She always wants to know, okay, hi. Jump up, yeah! Energy, I had a lot of energy in the morning. I was someone who was like not a morning person, would be cranky, and I'm still not like crazy early morning person now, but when I get up, I actually have a lot of energy in the morning, and I'm like ready to start my day. Just give me a coffee, and I'm good to go. I started to get so much energy that I needed to find a way to burn it off. So for the first time in my life, I took a real serious interest in exercise. Now I've done exercise in the past before that, but I always did it because I wanted to look better, and I didn't actually ever really stick to anything. And so it was interesting, after I'd been vegan for maybe about a year, I actually took a course on bodybuilding, where, by the way, they were telling me to eat meat all the time, so that was a bit annoying. It really taught me how to work out and enjoy that and get into it, and I really got into it, and now I do it quite regularly. I try to go to the gym 3 times a week. I don't always make it, but when I do, wicked, and I've done things that I would have thought I hated before in life, such as like races and obstacle courses. I did the Badass Dash, I've done a Spartan race, I've done 5K runs, all sorts of stuff like that, which is something that would have seemed completely awful to me, but now I actually get fun out of that. So that's a weird change for me. So I've been asked a lot what it felt like to go vegan. I realized that I didn't know what good felt like, because I always thought that I felt good, but then I actually felt better, and that's what good felt like. It taught me that whenever I have a symptom of something, if I have an upset stomach or a headache, it's my body telling me something, because generally I feel pretty fantastic. I used to have digestive issues. I thought I just had a sensitive stomach, but I realized that that's just probably because I was lactose intolerant or had trouble digesting meat, or maybe wasn't getting enough fiber, any of those reasons. So going vegan totally helped. My stomach never complains anymore. It's always super happy. I mean, maybe if I drink too much or something, but that's obviously not the fault of being vegan. That's just drinking too much. So digestive, energy. So my weight, I did lose a couple of pounds when I went vegan. I think I lost about 8 pounds. Maybe I've gone up again since then. I'm not really sure. With weight training, it's a bit funny because you put on muscle weight. So I don't really weigh myself that much anymore because sometimes when I gain weight, I'm gaining muscle, so I actually look leaner, so that's cool. But aside from that, I noticed that my body shape changed a little bit. I used to carry a lot of my weight in my hips. I still have big wobbly hips, but kind of balanced out a little bit more. My body just kind of got comfortable, I'd say. And so that was wicked. And then the wonderful thing is that now I really don't have a hard time maintaining my weight. I used to kind of go up and down a little bit. I'd be really uncomfortable. My jeans would get tight and I'd get upset and then I'd have to like do a detox or something. That doesn't really happen anymore. I might get a little bit bloaty one day, or you know, if I'm drinking too much or the holiday season or something like that. But for the most part, like I don't really have to worry about my weight. In part that's probably to working out, but I think that's just eating a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruit. It's really nice just being comfortable in my skin and not really worrying about my body and wearing tight clothes and crop tops. That's not something I ever did before. Something that I didn't really expect. For me, when I first went vegan, one of the main triggers for me was health. That documentary, Forks Over Knives, blew my mind. And I was like, oh my god, how could I ever put animal products in my body again after learning what they do to my body? So that was kind of my big push to go vegan. And then of course I learned and got more into the animal rights and the environment and all those good reasons to be vegan. And so yeah, something that kind of surprised me is this is gonna sound cheesy, I don't talk like this, but it's the sense of peace that came over my body. I really felt like I was at peace with the world. I know it kind of sounds kind of hippie, hairy-fairy-sary. I think when you don't eat dead animals, it kind of like feels good. I think you realize that in your mind, in your core. You're not killing anything, you're not consuming the flesh of a dead animal. I don't know, it made me feel really good knowing that I was doing that. And then learning about the environmental impacts, I've always tried to be as green as I could. And so knowing that basically I'm doing the best I can by being vegan, it's one of the best things you can do as an individual, that made me feel great. Knowing I was eating food in general that was healthier for my body, that made me feel great. But yeah, it feels really good to be a compassionate person and make thoughtful choices. Another thing is that it took me a little bit of a habit to break this. When I first went vegan, I did have a few slip-ups, as I think we all do, and I think that's fine. That's just the process of change. But you know, I used to kind of just like aimlessly eat. And so I remember, I think I was at my parents' house or something, and there was like some food spreads out, and I was just kind of like throwing food in my mouth and not even really thinking about it. And I totally put in a piece of meat. This was like way back when, so I don't even remember what it was. And then realized what I had done and was like, bleh, gross, spit it out. No one even noticed except for me. But yeah, so I had to learn to not aimlessly eat, which I think is a good thing to do. You shouldn't aimlessly eat. And so it really helps me to not snack randomly without thought. I mean, I guess I could do that in my own house because everything's vegan here. But yeah, I just put a lot more thought into what I eat, and I think that's probably a good thing. Other than how I felt, a totally different shift with me is that it made a massive career change for me. At the time, when I first went vegan, I was an art director. I hated my job. I started my blog about half a year into being vegan. And then I fell in love with that. I found people on the internet that loved what I did. I felt like I was making a difference in the world. I got to use all of my favorite skills, my art, my business, my creativity, and then I began my blog and grew it into a business. 2.5 years later, I quit my job as an art director and I took my blog full time, and then, you know, I got a cookbook deal and it was amazing. I loved it. Now I have the best job ever. I'm so happy every day. So I feel very lucky that I love what I do every day, and I get to have this wonderful career where I feel like I'm making a change in the world, but I get to do something that I absolutely love. It's wonderful. The last thing that I think I noticed, and this took some while, but was confidence in myself. When I first was vegan, I was very apologetic for it. I felt like I was putting people out of place. You know, at a restaurant, I'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Is it like, can I possibly order this vegan? Is that okay? I don't even want to say the word. Like, I didn't really like referring to myself as vegan. You'd be really apologetic to everyone about it. And then as time progressed, I kind of realized, why am I apologizing about this? My choice is saving lives. It's making me healthier, it's helping the environment. There's no reason to be apologetic about that. So once I kind of realized that and over time got confident in who I was, and I think as long as you're a nice person about it, there's no reason to be apologetic about it. So I never apologize for being vegan anymore. I wear shirts that say vegan, I'm loud and proud about it. I'm not a jerk, but I'm really clear about who I am and I don't apologize. So now when I go to restaurants, I just say, hey, do you have any vegan options? Or is this a vegan option? If I go to someone's house, I'm like, hey, I brought this delicious vegan dish for everyone to enjoy. I never say sorry. I always just embrace who I am because I don't think you should apologize for living your life according to your own values. So that's it really. That's how I feel after 5 years vegan. My only regret is that I wish I went vegan sooner. It changed my life in so many positive ways that why wouldn't I want to do it sooner? I think a big misconception is that being vegan is really hard. And yeah, at first it can be kind of challenging because you're taking on a whole new thing. You're changing a really basic thing that you do every day, which is eat, and you are completely changing that. And so yeah, that takes some while to get used to. But once you get used to it, it's just how you live. It's just how you eat. You don't even really have to think about it anymore. Just as easy as it is to eat meat, it's just as easy not to eat meat. So I know I've had some friends who thought it was a struggle, thought it was like a diet, that I was restricting myself, and it's not. It's really not. I love it. It's how I live. It's how I eat. It's what makes me happy. I don't feel like I'm missing anything. When I see meat on people's plates, I don't have any desire to eat it. I don't feel like I'm missing out on any of that. And so it's just really made a great change in my life. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. If you're vegan, let me know the changes you've experienced. I would love to hear them and see how it ranges across everyone. And if you're not vegan, hey, maybe give it a try. Why not? Maybe you'll feel great too. Until next time, bon appetit!